We've come so far with these characters, my friends. From a man walking out into a rainy May evening to catch crabs for his family, to a little girl praying for her father at sunrise, to a kitchen full of pancakes and tea, and three people who love each other more than they know how to say. This is my conclusion to my own take on James, his wife, and their little Nye. The final chapter of a story that, in truth, has no real ending, because love like this just keeps going. So let me tell you what happened that afternoon. The pancakes were eaten. The teacup was washed. The morning settled into a quiet, slow rhythm. James went outside to chop a little firewood for the next rainy night. Nye sat on the porch with her favorite doll, telling it stories about crabs and rain. And the wife? The wife slipped away to her bedroom. She opened a small wooden chest that sat at the foot of the bed, the kind every Vietnamese woman keeps for special things. And from inside, she pulled out something James hadn't seen in years. It was a folded silk scarf, pale blue, a little faded now, but still beautiful. She'd worn it on the day they were married all those years ago, when she was young and shy, and James was a thinner, quieter version of the man he became. She held it in her hands for a long moment, remembering. Then she walked out to the kitchen and started to cook. Here's what I want you to notice. She didn't go buy something. She didn't make a phone call. She went into her own past, into her own treasured memories, and she pulled out something that meant something. That's the kind of love that grows after 20 years. A love that doesn't need to be impressive, only true. She started preparing the dish she had made for James on their very first anniversary. A simple chicken soup with ginger and green onions. The recipe was nothing fancy, but it was theirs. It was the soup she had cooked when they were poor and newly married and didn't have a proper table yet. The soup that had warmed them through their first cold winter together. She hadn't made it in years. Life got busy. Children came. Things changed. But today felt like the right day to remember. While the broth simmered, she set the table the way she used to. 2 bowls, 2 pairs of chopsticks, a small bouquet of wildflowers from outside the window tucked into a little glass. And then, just for fun, just for him, she draped that pale blue silk scarf over the back of her chair, where he would see it, where he would remember. James came in from chopping wood, sleeves rolled up, smelling like fresh-cut pine. He stopped at the kitchen doorway. He sniffed the air, and something in his face changed. He knew that smell. His body knew that smell before his mind did. Ginger, green onion, chicken broth. That specific combination that had not appeared in their house in maybe 10 years. He looked at the table. He saw the 2 bowls, the wildflowers. And then, slowly, his eyes drifted to the chair, to the pale blue silk hanging there like a soft little ghost from another life. And he just stood there, his mouth a little open, his big strong hands hanging at his sides. Because he remembered everything. The wife turned from the stove. She saw his face, and she gave him a small, knowing smile. Just a tiny lift at the corners of her mouth. The kind of smile a wife only gives her husband. Sit down, honey. I made something for you. James didn't move at first. He just stared at her. This woman he had loved since he was 23 years old. And then, very softly, he walked over, pulled out his chair, and sat down across from her. And what happens next is the moment we've all been waiting for. The moment this whole journey has been building toward. For a long time, neither of them spoke. The soup steamed between them. Outside, the afternoon sun was warm and golden on the hills. Somewhere, Nee was singing to her doll, her little voice drifting in through the open window. James picked up his chopsticks. He looked down at the soup. He looked up at his wife, And then, finally, he found his voice. "You remembered," he said. Just 2 words, but heavy, full. His wife nodded. "Of course I remembered. How could I forget?" And then she said the thing that had been waiting in her heart for years. She said it quietly, without fanfare, without build-up, the way truly important things are usually said. "James, I want to tell you something. I don't think I tell you enough. You went out in that rain yesterday. You came home wet and tired. You cooked for us. You peeled crab meat for our daughter. And I watched you, and I thought, after all these years, I still love this man. I still choose this man. Even if none of this life had happened the way it did. Even if we were poor again. Even if we had nothing. I would choose you. Just you. Always you." James didn't speak for a long moment. His eyes got wet. He reached across the table and took her hand. His big, work-worn hand wrapped around her smaller one. And he held it, just held it, like he was afraid she might disappear if he let go. "I don't deserve you," he said finally. And she shook her head, fierce and gentle at once. "Yes, you do, my love. You deserve all of it. Every bowl of soup, every silk scarf, every morning of this life. You earned it by being who you are." This is the moment, my friends. This is the moment a marriage becomes something more than a marriage. When 2 people, after years of dishes and bills and rainy afternoons, look at each other and say, "I still choose you. I still see you." There is no greater wealth on this earth. None. I really believe that with my whole heart. James lifted her hand to his lips and kissed her knuckles, soft and slow, the way he used to when they were young and the world was still ahead of them. And the wife laughed, a small, watery laugh, because she remembered. She remembered being a young bride. She remembered believing in forever. And here it was, forever, sitting across from her in a kitchen smelling of ginger soup, with a pale blue scarf hanging on the chair behind her. They ate slowly. They talked about old things, the first house they ever rented, the one with the leaky roof, the neighbour's dog that used to steal James's slippers, the day Nee was born, and how James had been so nervous he forgot the name of the hospital. They laughed, they cried a little, and the soup got cold while they remembered, and neither of them cared. That is when the door creaked open. Nee came tiptoeing in, her doll under her arm, her hair a little messy from running around outside. She stopped when she saw her parents at the table, holding hands, eyes a little red. She tilted her head. "Are you crying, Mommy?" The wife wiped her eyes quickly and smiled. "No, my love, we're just happy." Nee didn't understand, but she didn't need to. She climbed up onto her father's lap and put a small hand against his cheek. "Don't be sad, Daddy. I'm here." And James laughed, that low, beautiful laugh. He pulled his daughter close. He looked across at his wife. And in that moment, 3 people were holding each other in a sunny kitchen. And there was nothing missing. Nothing at all. The wife stood up and walked around the table. She knelt beside her husband's chair. She put one hand on James's knee, one hand on Nee's small back. "This is everything," she whispered. "This, right here, everything I have ever wanted." And James looked down at her, this woman who had loved him through every season, and he understood. He finally understood. This was what the rain had been for. This was what the crabs had been for. This was what every cold morning and every tired evening had been for. This. They spent the rest of the afternoon outside. The wife sat on the porch step with her tea. Nye played in the yard with a stick and a handful of small stones, building some kind of secret city only she could see. And James, instead of going off to do another chore, sat down beside his wife. He took off his shoes, he stretched out his legs, and he just stayed. Present. There. The wife rested her head on his shoulder. He put his arm around her. They didn't talk much. They just watched their daughter play. They watched the light change on the hills. They watched the chickens scratch in the dirt down the path. Time slowed down, the way it does when you finally stop running from it. And James thought to himself, this is the life. This specific, ordinary, beautiful thing. This is what all of it was for. The wet boots, the early mornings, the years of work. All of it for this porch. This woman. This little girl with her secret city of stones. The secrets between them, the unspoken thank yous, the small resentments that even good marriages collect like dust, all of those were finally gone now. They had been washed away by a bowl of soup, by a folded silk scarf, by 2 words spoken across a kitchen table. I remembered. He was not afraid anymore, not afraid of growing old, not afraid of one day not being able to walk into the rain anymore. Because he knew now, deep in his bones, that he was loved, truly loved. And that was enough. Nye came running over with a treasure she had found. A small, perfect leaf, red around the edges. "Look, Daddy! Look, Mommy!" She held it up like it was made of gold, and James took it carefully in his big fingers. "It's beautiful, my love." He tucked it gently into his shirt pocket. "I'll keep it here, right next to my heart." Nye beamed. She ran off again. The wife squeezed his arm, and the 3 of them stayed there, on that porch, until the sun began to slip behind the mountains. This is what I wanted for them, my friends. Not a fairy tale ending. Just this, a porch, a leaf, a wife leaning on her husband's shoulder, a little girl playing in the yard. The kind of ending that doesn't need fireworks because the love is already so bright. This is what every quiet family deserves. This kind of evening, this kind of peace. That night, after Nee had been tucked into bed, after the dishes were washed and the lights were dim, James and his wife sat together one more time on the porch steps. The mountain air was cool. The stars were starting to come out, scattered across the sky like rice grains spilled on dark cloth. The wife was wearing the pale blue scarf now, loose around her shoulders. James reached over and gently touched the edge of it. He didn't say anything. He didn't have to. She smiled. "James," she said softly, "promise me something." He turned to her. "Anything." She looked up at the stars. "Promise me you'll never stop being you. The man who walks into the rain. The man who peels crab meat for his daughter. The man who comes home." James was quiet for a long time. Then he leaned over and kissed the top of her head. "I promise," he said. "As long as I have breath in me, I promise." And that was all. That was the whole vow, spoken not on a wedding day, but on a porch step, 20 years in. The kind of vow that holds, because it has already been kept 1,000 times. This was the life. This was the love. This was the family that had been built, one bowl of soup at a time, one rainy night at a time, one small prayer at a time. And it was more than enough. It was everything. This was my own take on their story, my friends, what I felt they deserved, and what their journey meant to me. Whether life unfolds this way or another, what matters is the truth at the heart of it. That love and family are worth everything. That the small things, the wet hats and the warm soup and the silk scarves remembered, those are the real treasures. Thank you for walking this journey with me. Hold your people close tonight. The best is already here.